Ooh, we won the lottery. Oh, baby. Yeah. I get an apartment and, oh, baby. Oh. They raised the rent. Give me them papers. Papers, Please, a dystopian document thriller, is a unique puzzle game developed by Lucas Pope, a former employee for Naughty Dog and the Uncharted series, and was released by his company 3909 sometime in August of 2013. The game is based around a border patrol officer whom you are playing the role of and his day-to-day operations at the border. You check people's documents for discrepancies and allow only those with the proper documentation to pass through. Utilizing various tools and a rulebook for your workspace, you make sure that only the right people get back to town. The story begins on November 23rd, 1982, in the glorious city of Arstotzka, after an arduous 6-year war has just ended. Borders have been reopened, and congratulations! Your name has been pulled for the October labor lottery. You get a job, and they're providing a room for you and your family? Sounds great! Except it's not that great at all. It's terrible, in fact. Your job at the Greston border checkpoint pays like crap, and the apartment isn't free. It's a Class 8 apartment that sucks on utilities. And oh, the rent goes up soon after moving in. It sounds like real life. Your first day on the job is as black and white as it gets. The only requirement for entry is to have a passport and to be from Arstotzka. Not Arstotzkan. Denied. No passport. Denied. Day rolls around and now foreigners are let in. They now need an entry ticket, and you've got to make sure their passport information, such as expiration date, photo, etc., all matches the entry ticket, and it quickly becomes a mess as border control tightens its protocol. You get paid for every person you process. And while this commission system sounds awesome on paper, where the best inspectors get paid the most, the reality is that if you do your job correctly, you will barely be able to feed your family. Yes, the fastest way to make money is to simply deny them right away if there are any missing papers or documents or discrepancies. Because if you ask them where their entry ticket is or highlight anything that doesn't quite match, you'll have to inspect further and further to make sure they're really allowed through or not. And time is ticking. Anyone processed after 6 p.m. is unpaid. It makes you deny people who would otherwise be allowed through if you would just have asked them for the proper documents. I really thought that playing a border patrol officer would be boring and like real work, and in a sense it is, but it's the role-playing and world-building that really makes it seem not like work. The plot and gameplay go hand in hand and make it much more interesting than its core theme would suggest. Your savings diminishes quickly and you find yourself in full survival mode. On just day 2, you get your day cut short from a terrorist attack, and as more and more goes down, the regulations get tighter and tighter, to where processing one person takes a millennia. The game is filled with moral dilemmas that require you to either sacrifice your pay and ability to feed your family to save someone from being killed, or say screw them because you need Skrilla for your son's medicine. Things just seem to pile and pile up as you look for ways to make more money, all while trying to do your job correctly so you aren't killed by the government. You have to scour the news for possible murderers on the loose, choose between bribes or a citation, and deal with spies, smugglers, and secret organizations who are looking for trouble, all while hoping someone you let through doesn't blow the place up and cut the day short. Papers, Please has 20 different endings and tons of shenanigans that end up getting you there. You pave your way on how you want to play the game, and ultimately pay the price or get out of the country to safety. There's also quite a few characters that make their way into the game and become recurring characters. This guy. My god, this guy. Visually, the game matches its dystopian roots of a colorless, lifeless place with melancholy color tones and crude-looking characters. The game's visuals are a throwback to an era in which the game takes place, and work out pretty well. The animations are still able to show the atmosphere that the game tries to convey, and give it character to match. There isn't really much wrong in terms of how the game performs, although I did have the game crash once while playing. Get to the score. Flatline 9, A-. For a game that at face value looked to be just a boring customer service simulator, this game delivered more hours of entertainment than I could have initially imagined. The game guides you effortlessly into the job while simultaneously ramping up the pace that has you sweating profusely, and it teaches you everything you need to know without jamming tutorial pop-ups everywhere. And it does so by not pussyfooting around and showing you exactly what you'll be encountering right away. However, the inspection tools can be a bit confusing, and the game doesn't do a good job at highlighting the important use of the rulebook as a means to kickstart the interrogation process, and smacks the score a little bit. The game's story was intriguing, genuine, and quite clever in many ways. From the labor lottery and your struggling family, to the families you inevitably split apart by doing your day-to-day job, this one has depth that is quite good. There were some things that could have made the story a little more interactive and make us connect with our unnamed character more, but it wasn't so much that it heavily hit the grade. The aesthetics of the game were on point in terms of feel, but some elements felt like more of the same in terms of the characters, and there could have been a slightly wider gamut added to them in order to make each one of them just a little more unique. Performance-wise, it was essentially flawless. I did have one problem with it crashing, and I couldn't figure out if it was just a fluke or not, and sometimes I felt like the mouse didn't want to properly catch up, causing some misclicking on the denial stamp, but it wasn't enough to cause much of a dent at all. Could have just been flukes. As far as how genuine the world felt, the recurring characters all had good, unique personalities that were quirky for some, helpful for others, and serious in the worst. The people from day to day all seemed to have some sort of thought to them, and even to their mannerisms and the way they talked. In terms of the I wanna play it again department, Papers, Please falls a little flat, for just simply being inherently repetitive. There's not much you can do to change that, and in the story there's clear patterns and vices that become quite predictable as you play it a few more times. The story mode can be completed fairly quickly, so you can see how things could get a little boring in the long run. Papers, Please is a little gem dressed in a boring outfit, and is a great play for people looking for a bit of quick thinking and detective work that does so in a charmingly gloomy way. It can get a bit too repetitive for some people's tastes, but for anyone else looking for a great game on a budget, this game aims to please.